This week we have a special throwback edition of About Town.
We're celebrating the Irving Convention Center at Las Colinas.
And we'll take you inside some of your favorite events over the years.
All this and more coming up About Town.
Hello everyone and welcome to About Town. I'm Susan Stevens.
And I'm Kathy Whiteman. Susan and I are thrilled to bring you this special edition of About Town focusing on Irving's premier meeting and events venue.
We'll take a look back at local events like Breakfast with the Stars and national events like ComicCon Fan Days.
We'll also bring you details on Clear the Shelters 2021 and a new event, the Irving Las Colinas Jazz and Art Festival.
And we'll have a review of two summer films, The Green Knight and Paper Spiders.
As always, we'd love to hear your feedback. Tell us about events going on around the community, interesting people we should profile, or stories you'd like to see on the show.
You can email us at ictn@cityofirving.org or connect with us on social media. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you.
We'll start our walk down memory lane with a look at the 10th annual DFW Fiberfest, where we learned that 21st century crafters take fiber arts to the next level. If you want to learn to knit or crochet, there's a time-honored way.
My grandmother did it before me, and that's where I learned.
And there's a 21st century way.
YouTube, actually.
But if you want full immersion in all things knitting and spinning and felting and more, you want to check out the DFW Fiberfest.
It is so inclusive. If you just want to do simple scarves and blankets and rectangles and squares, you can do it and nobody cares. If you want to do things like this shawl that is incredible and lace and not square by any means, you can do that too.
Margot Lynn Hablitzel is one of the co-founders of DFW Fiberfest.
The founding board members, Molly Andrews, Mary Kay Bishop, and Jerry Rigdon, and from the beginning we mixed knitters and crocheters, men and women on the board to make sure that we had a broad representation and nobody could say, well, you're just a bunch of. It's young women, it's young men, it's middle-aged, it's old, it runs the gamut.
DFW Fiberfest was the first show of its kind in the area.
A lot of people will credit me with starting this because I was the one that said, I'm tired of listening to people complain that we don't have this. So I said, why don't we do one?
That's really pretty cool for what started off as a very small show, and now 10 years later, we get to pick and choose who has booths here at our show, who teaches at our show. This one is a yarn bowl.
Elisa Barton, owner of Knitting Fairy in Grand Prairie, was a vendor at that very first show.
And you can knit with it, and it doesn't run away from home while you're knitting. I started with a single table booth, and now I have 4 booths, 400 square feet worth of booth here. I have a 2,000-foot shop in Grand Prairie, so yeah, we've all grown together, I think.
Since its start in 2005, the show has become the premier fiber festival in North Texas, both for the shopping and sourcing, and the opportunity to learn from luminaries in the world of fiber arts.
It's one of the best ones that I do. I think as a teacher, DFW is really looking for classes that you're not going to find just anywhere. Yes, we have great teachers, we have regional teachers, we have national, international teachers that want to come to us and teach.
A lot of the people here are really big names in the knitting world. I know I definitely wanted to see Stephanie McPhee.
They have really done a very good job of seeking out people who really know what they're doing and want to pass that knowledge on, which is fantastic because we don't want it to disappear.
This event has a wealth of information and a community of fiber folks who are eager to welcome more to the fold. If you missed this year, not to worry. DFW Fiberfest returns to the Irving Convention Center in 2016. This is Kathy Whiteman reporting. The DFW Fiberfest returns to the Irving Convention Center in 2022, but if you just can't wait to get your hands on some fabric, check out the Original Sewing and Quilting Expo coming up August 19th through 21st at the Irving Convention Center. The Irving Convention Center at Las Colinas has been the scene of some of the most successful events in the city of Irving.
And during the pandemic, the two key words were pivot and resilience. Executive Director Mora Gass is here with us for an insider's perspective on the last year.
Mora, it's great to see you always.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Good to see humans.
Yes, to actually be in the same room
Yes,
breathing
yes.
with human beings.
Well,
It's
not breathing completely.
Well, that's true. We need to do a little bit of that distancing thing with the
Yeah.
craziness going on right now. So last year was tough. The hospitality industry and the thing that's dearest to my heart, the arts, were really at just the bottom of the list
Absolutely.
last year.
Everything was shut down mid-March, and it's just starting to come back in ways that were just starting to feel like almost normal again.
Yeah, and that makes it rough.
Yeah. What would you say got you through the last year?
The biggest thing has been the people around us. So that is certainly our staffs, which never stopped. It's certainly the board whose support we've had, the city management, the city council whose support we have, who've been willing to understand the depths of what was going on, and everybody trying to figure out what can we do. Because what we couldn't do was make people travel who certainly weren't willing or comfortable, or it may not have even been allowed to travel. But we needed all the things that have come to mean a visit to Irving to be here when they were ready to travel again. So we needed our restaurants to get whatever opportunities or avenues for business they could. We needed to promote those. We needed to spend a lot more time talking with what I would just say our inside voice, or our talking to Irving voice instead of always talking to strangers voice, and making sure we didn't neglect either side. Even though our charge is always the strangers, we needed to make sure local people were aware that restaurants were still open in different ways but needed their business, and that hotels were good and safe places for weekend getaways in your own backyard, all those kinds of things, and probably most importantly to build a pipeline, because sooner or later this ends and we want people back and we want everybody ready to have them back.
Absolutely. It's so. What is the current status? I mean, I wish we had the crystal ball.
Yeah.
And I know you've frequently been asked to pull out your crystal ball.
Oh wait, there's no wind in here at all.
None whatsoever.
Yeah, it's about every 3 or 4 months we take a look at what's going on and try to have at least a halfway intelligent guess, which is all it is, about what's coming. As of 2 months ago, what I could tell you is that beginning January of next year, things were really going to start rocking again, and really start to rock at a pace that was beginning to feel normal, both for the convention center and for our hotels. It's probably 23, 24 before our hotels are able to stabilize rate, but at least occupancy was starting to come back. The last couple of weeks, we've seen some hiccups as this Delta thing takes its on. I saw something in the news about Iota and Lambda. I'm like, we're halfway through the Greek alphabet. This is not a good thing,
We
right?
don't want to go there.
But people are, they're being cautious, or they're trying to understand what their options are, because their options right now, from an event happening basis, really more from a legal standpoint, is very different than last summer when things were shut down, where you were not allowed to have gatherings of more than X number of people, and then that opened up with certain restrictions or requirements. So the legal framework is very different right now, and the balance I think all of our hotels are having to fight, and that we're having to fight, is just to find a way to most importantly protect the customer relationships, so that if it doesn't make sense to meet right now, or to meet the way you were going to meet, how can we best work with you to make sure that you can meet?
Yeah. And that's the answer, I think, that we're all hoping to find out. So over the course of this next few months, you'll be making a decision. In the meantime, if people want to know what's going on, where do they need to go?
Easiest and best place to do is either our Visit Irving, Texas Facebook page, or irvingtexas.com, or irvingconventioncenter.com. The convention center site's going to have just the convention center events, and really just those that are open to the public. And then the Irving, Texas site, the CVB site, is going to have everything going on in Irving that's open to the public, and it's as up to date as we can get it to be. We also maintain a very robust restaurant listing, so we know what restaurants are offering in terms of in-restaurant dining or to-go or any of those kinds of things. One of the biggest challenges everybody's having is just staffing right now, and so even though places are permitted to be open 100%, they may not have the staff capacity to reopen at 100%. So if you're out at a restaurant, tip nicely, tip friendly. Remember, those guys who showed up are doing the heavy lifting for a lot of folks, and just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Well, I think that those are great words.
Yeah,
I really absolutely.
Eat out often.
Yes, absolutely, because there's a lot of joy in
and
that.
sleep out often.
Okay,
Yeah, what's the right? I don't know what the right hotel correlation is, but Still safe places to be in your own
Yeah.
backyard and still hotels ready to welcome you.
That is great. Thanks so much for being
Thanks,
with us,
guys.
Mora.
Appreciate it.
Folks, remember the website, irvingconventioncenter.com. Visit irvingtexas.com.
One of the Irving Schools Foundation's most anticipated events is the annual Breakfast with the Stars, which celebrates the achievements of Irving's graduating seniors. Here's a look at the 2019 event at the Irving Convention Center.
My name is Marion Smith, and I will be attending Texas Tech University.
And I plan to attend the University of Texas at Austin. Hook 'em.
My name is Jonah Perez, and I plan to attend University of Texas at Dallas.
That was just 3 of the 182 students that received scholarships at the 32nd annual Breakfast with the Stars.
We also had some teachers and staff members that received scholarships as well.
And this year, the community gave back more than ever with a record-breaking scholarship amount of over $500,000.
I think it's important for the community to give back because this is their future workforce. A lot of the kids that crossed the stage today said in their bios, I plan to come back to my hometown of Irving. I plan to become a teacher in Irving. I plan to open a doctor's office in Irving and give back to my community. And so I think it's important for us to invest in that future and continue to make the city of Irving the greatest city in America.
The event was once again held at the Irving Convention Center and presented by Nissan. During the awards presentation, students and their guests were served a creative breakfast dish.
We had a chocolate-covered donut surrounded with yogurt parfait and topped with berries. Then we had the second course, which was a request from the kids. The kids wanted breakfast tacos. We had elevated it a little bit, so we did breakfast taco cups.
Next, I'm proud to announce the Forever a Bulldog Scholarship.
Following in John McKay's footsteps, our own Kathy Whiteman was the new face as MC.
She did a fantastic job. That was our new highlight. Just like last year, we matched all of our scholarships, and that was a fun surprise for all of our students to find out they're getting an additional $1,000. And then we had our student speakers return again this year. It was such a hit last year. It was something we added at the very last minute last year, and this year we were proud to bring that back.
I got a letter in the mail addressed to Miss Alvarado. It read, on behalf of the White House Commission on Presidential Scholars of the United States Department of Education, we are pleased to inform you that you are a candidate in the 2019 United States Presidential Scholars Program.
Breakfast with the Stars treats students to a Hollywood kind of style recognition for their hard work.
We could just hand them certificates in the mail, but I don't think it highlights them like this does.
And the Irving Schools Foundation particularly takes pride in watching each of these students as they walk across the stage to receive their award.
I think for me, it's really why I work. It's the reason I show up every single day when I get to see these students and how appreciative they are. And like I said up on stage, how many of these kids have told me I would not be going to college if not for this scholarship. So for me, it makes everything I do, all those crazy hours and some of the red tape I have to deal with, it makes it all worthwhile when I get to see these students accept their scholarships and know that they're off to a great, bright future.
Congratulations to all the recipients of the 2019 Breakfast with the Stars. For About Town, this is Susan Stevens. Visit IrvingSchoolsFoundation.org to learn how you can help Irving students on the road to success.
And speaking of successful Irving ISD graduates, Susan Stevens reviews Irving High alum David Lowery's new film, The Green Knight.
Friends, brothers and sisters.
Irving High School alum David Lowery has made quite the name for himself in the film industry, creating critically acclaimed movies like Pete's Dragon and A Ghost Story. The writer-director brings a unique vision to every story he tells, especially in his newest film based on the 14th century Arthurian poem, The Green Knight.
O greatest of kings, let one of your knights try to land a blow against me. Indulge me in this game.
I will meet thee.
One year hence.
On Christmas Day, a mysterious tree-like green knight challenges King Arthur and his knights to a wager. If any one of them can behead him, they can have his powerful axe. but the knight must return in a year to endure the same fate. King Arthur's nephew, Sir Gawain, who is not yet a knight, is the only one who accepts the challenge. And in the following year, he sets out to honor his word and earn his title of a knight.
Another year nearly gone already. You must seek him out.
Was it not just a game?
Perhaps, but it is not complete. You'll find no mercy, no happy end.
Why do you stop me?
Your doom is at hand.
Lowry's Arthurian adventure is not some action-packed sword fight, but rather a journey of self-discovery. Gawain is looking for his purpose in a world where he feels out of place. Though he has royal blood, he's not even certain he wants to be a knight or future king. He often acts like a ridiculous drunk, and he loves a woman who's a mere commoner. Maybe if he completes his quest, he will be worthy of and desire the life that has been laid out for him.
You rest your bones. I'll finish your quest for you.
Lowry is capable of telling a gripping story with few words due to his realistic and captivating visuals. Paired with the alluring cinematography by Andrew Drawes Palermo and the original mystical music by Daniel Hart, audiences won't be able to take their eyes off the screen. And if that's not enough to pull you in, Dev Patel's breathtaking performance as Sir Gawain will. Patel transcends with his incredible character arc and depth of emotions brought on by his internal struggles. It's a truly Oscar-worthy performance. The Green Knight is a must-see, powerful tale of honor and sacrifice.
That is why a knight does what he does.
Are you ready?
The Green Knight is currently playing at AMC Irving Mall. For more of Susan's reviews and celebrity interviews, visit thischicksflix.com. It's August, and that means it's time for Clear the Shelters.
Corey Price joins us with the details. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Always so great to see you, Corey. So last year kind of blew things up for all of us. How did you manage an event, because you did a virtual event last year?
We basically kept the shelter doors closed during the pandemic just to moderate the number of people that came into the shelter at any given time. And we were able to counsel people over the phone while they were waiting in the parking lot and try to help them find good matches. They could look for animals online. And then when it was their turn, they got one-on-one service. So there are some pluses to operating that way.
Yeah. No, that's nice. I mean, how are you guys going to organize it this year then?
This year will be a little bit different because people can come into the shelter, and so it will be a little more reminiscent to the Clear the Shelters of the past, but we will still have people sign in and we will still help them one by one and try to make good matches for them so they can take animals home during the Clear the Shelters event this year. And the event itself is going to be a week long instead of one day to try to minimize the crowds and allow us to be able to still get hopefully all the animals in the shelter home during that week.
Yeah, that's a great goal, and we really want you guys to make it. So folks that want to take a new fur baby home, what do they need to do in advance? What do you want them to go to the website and look for a pet again, or what tips do you have for that?
If I were in the market for a new animal, which I'm not, I think the best thing to do is look online for the animals that are available at our Irving shelter or any of the 60 shelters that are participating this year, and really look at the profiles of those animals, learn what you can about them, get an idea of what kind of pet you're looking for, or if you're really easygoing, you can definitely reach out to your local shelter or call us at Irving Animal Services, and we'll start helping you try to find a pet that will be a good match for your lifestyle and your family, so that when Clear the Shelters is here, you're ready to roll.
Great, yeah. So for those who will adopt a pet, what tips do you have for them their first week home?
I think getting a new pet is always very exciting for people, so they want to post it on social media and get all their friends to come over, and I don't recommend that.
Yeah.
So really what you want to do when you adopt a new pet is give them some time to settle in, give them some time to get to know you. Definitely keep them supervised for a while. And if you need to step out and leave them unsupervised, it's best to make sure they're contained in some way, whether that's in a crate or in a room, so that they're not having free roam of the house. Because sometimes you don't know what their behavior is going to be while you're gone. So my advice is to take it slow. And then as you get to know your animal's personality and they get to know you, you can kind of broaden the horizons with them.
So I'm going to just say that is a wonderful tip, because I am guilty of not doing that when we adopted ours. So this event was successful even during the pandemic. So what do you anticipate this year?
You know, I anticipate that people will come out and adopt in droves, just like they have every year that we've done this event. I know every year is not the year to adopt an animal for everyone, because once you have a pet in your home, hopefully it'll be in your home for years to come, right? So for those people that have already adopted during Clear the Shelters, we still want you to come on out. We need volunteers, we definitely need donations, so there's still lots of ways to get involved, but hopefully we'll get a huge turnout, and we're going to try to empty the shelter, clear the shelter again this year.
Fantastic. Corey, thank you so much for being with us. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah.
And folks, if you'd like to get more details, please visit cleartheshelters.org.
One of the Irving Convention Center's earliest and most successful events was ComicCon Fan Days. It was so successful, it actually outgrew the convention center. Here's a look back at ComicCon Fan Days 2014.
Hey guys, this is Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, and we are at Dallas Comic-Con! Yeah!
Having a lot of fun.
It's great. I'm liking it.
I love it. Enjoying it quite a bit.
It's my first convention, and I really, really am enjoying myself.
We get to see all the costumes and get to see other people dressed up.
A lot of stuff to look at.
The Irving Convention Center hosted another jam-packed Fan Days event.
Once again, being back here in Irving, it's always great, because the Irving Convention Center takes really good care of us, and I think, you know, just the city of Irving as a whole is really starting to embrace kind of the pop culture community. It's great to see this city growing, and especially some of the things that are happening here around the center, and so to be kind of like in the middle of that and being a part of that, it just seems like a great kind of a nice little bit of symmetry there. We're all kind of like working with each other to help the city of Irving have more exciting things going on. So yeah, this year's been good.
For Grapevine Middle School student Ava Machado, this year's convention is about more than just buying comic books.
I'm filming a documentary on Comic-Con, so I'm just going to be shooting all the fans and just what's going on. Today I'm probably going to start interviewing people selling comic books and stuff.
We let Ava go straight to work as we continued to check out all the great additions Fan Days had to offer.
It's funny because people always ask me, does it feel like the same thing every time, or is it always different? And I say, well, you know, there's always new and exciting experiences to happen.
Exciting things were happening. Kevin Sorbo, most popularly known for his role as Hercules on the hit TV series, came out to sign autographs, while Jason David Frank got his fans pumped to meet and snap a few pictures with the legendary Green Ranger himself. Also, keep an eye out. If there's something strange in your neighborhood, I know just who you should call.
We're the DFW Ghostbusters. We're a cosplay group that does appearances, movie screenings. We've even been known to do a few birthday parties.
Fans were even allowed to try on the one and only Proton Pack.
And we randomly show up in places like Dallas and Fort Worth to just walk around and say hi to fans, let people take pictures of us.
The celebrities, the comics, the merchandise. These are the perks of Fan Days. But there's a deeper reason why people make it a point to come out to Comic-Con.
I enjoy getting to meet people with the like interests and getting to see other people that are kind of into like the same stuff we're into, because where we're from up near Amarillo, there's not a lot of cosplay opportunities.
Well, if you like comic books or like sci-fi or anything like that, you can probably feel welcomed and like at home here because there are other people like you, and we might be called nerds or whatever, but it's still really great, and the people who do like this really enjoy it, and you can see they're bringing it forth in their costumes and just their energy, and it's just a great atmosphere.
Comic-Con continues to be a welcoming event where sci-fi fans can proudly unite.
You look at these people, even if you've never met them before, and you just kind of have that nod like, I get who you are. Yeah.
Up next at the Irving Convention Center, wrestling fans get ready for SWE Fury. August 28th from 2:30 to 10:30 p.m. Visit the events page at irvingconventioncenter.com.
Momentum Dance Company returns to the stage with their new show, Voices.
Lacey Sirica, Momentum's artistic director, joins us via Zoom with the details.
Lacey, thank you so much for being here with us today. It's great to see you.
Great to see you. Thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely. So I'm really excited about Voices. I got a clue about it a little bit earlier on this year. That's the title of the show, but it's also a clue as to what the show is about. Can you tell us about it?
Yes. So this show is based on Max Richter's composition, which he intertwined Eleanor Roosevelt's reading of the International Declaration or Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And so at the very beginning, she presented this at the United Nations, and this is the actual reading of her reading the Universal Declaration of Human Rights at the United Nations in 1948.
Wow. What a concept.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this sounds very creative. I mean, joining dance with spoken word as well as music. What made you guys decide to tackle this?
Well, Max Richter's music is absolutely fantastic and moving as well. And when he came out with this album, it was really at a time that the world needed something like this, just kind of something to unify us, something to kind of bring us together and make us realize that this is not something new that we're going through in the world. It's something that has been around since 1948 and even further past that. And so it was just something that really spoke to me as an artist, and to have the ability to bring people together, dancers included. We have the privilege of bringing together folklorico, point, just overall ballet and modern dance in this one show. So that also speaks to the voices itself. We're speaking in different genres of dance. We're speaking in different voices through Eleanor Roosevelt and Kiki Lane, through Max Richter's music. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It does sound so amazing.
Yeah, that sounds great.
It really does. So you choreographed many of the pieces in the show. Am I guessing right on that?
All of them, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of challenge was that for you as a choreographer and artistic director now of the company?
Yeah, it's overwhelming to an extent, but it gives me a moment to breathe. It gives me, it keeps me going as a human being. Outside of dance, as an artist, a lot of us don't have the privilege to do that full time. So I'm also a mother of two. I'm also a general manager of a restaurant. I'm also a wife. And so taking on an entire evening of dance was a long overhaul, but I could not have done it without the beautiful dancers that gave their hearts and souls to me and let me use them to speak to the audience through my movement and then through their bodies.
Well, I'm excited to hear you say that, because the thing that we love about promoting what you guys do is that the dance is always so beautiful, but there's that next step that Momentum always takes to really try to make a connection and communicate something valuable to the audience. So bravo. Yeah. We are looking forward, so forward to it. Thanks for being here. Voices will premiere on Saturday, August 21st at 7 p.m. and you have an opportunity to see it on Sunday at the matinee, Sunday, August 22nd at 2 p.m. For more information, visit MomentumDanceCompany.org and get your tickets at 972-252-ARTS. And here are a couple of events you won't want to miss happening about town. Lively Point Youth Center invites teens and their parents to the Back to School Open House on Thursday, August 19th. It's an opportunity to learn about all the programs available for Irving middle and high school students. Join in the fun from 4 to 7 p.m. at Lively Point Youth Center.
And get ready for comedy under the stars when Laughs by the Lake returns to Levy Events Plaza on Friday, August 27th at 7 p.m. For details, visit irvingevents.org. And that wraps up this edition of About Town. Thanks for joining us.
Please be sure to tune in next time when we'll turn our spotlight on the Irving Art Center and the Irving Archives and Museum.
We'll celebrate all the ways the arts brings the community together with a look back at exciting performances and events through the years.
We'll leave you tonight with a look at the Hopeful Theater Project's most magical show on earth. For About Town, I'm Kathy Whiteman.
And I'm Susan Stevens. Have a great evening.